All right, we are now live. Hello everyone, welcome to the stream. We've got about 20 viewers at the moment. It's pretty good.
Pretty good. Hi guys.
Yeah, so this is our first stream after we've released, after everyone's got it. So we're talking about some of those things, a lot of the questions. We've got some questions down already that you submitted on the form. I'm going to hear this.
It might be closed. Hi guys. Sorry for my
All right, we're hearing it.
Classic.
So we've got some questions that you guys have submitted in the that Google Docs form, so we'll be answering those. Whoever's watching, if you've got any questions, always stick them on the chat, and we'll be reading them as we go. I guess, well, first of all, I guess just a little thing like thank you guys for all your feedback, all the videos you've been posting. It's been really great. It's been super. It's what we wanted, to finally see you guys using it. So it's been brilliant for us to see that and start to hear the music. We've had a lot. We've got our Facebook private group where we've had loads of stuff in. If any of you watching who aren't part of that, either live or later on, then you can send us a message and we can add you in. There's loads of users in there posting videos. We've seen stuff on our forums as well where people have been posting some questions and all that. So yeah, join us on there as well. But yeah, it's been brilliant to finally see it out and about. Yeah,
and everyone should have their kits by now, roughly. So unless yours is from shipment 1 anyway. So unless yours is at the post office or you've not had a chance to get it set up yet, we kind of think that most people should have it with them in their home studios doing whatever they want with it right now. And as Liam says, we've had loads of activations, loads of people having a great time with it, and it's been super exciting. We're actually going to be launching a bit of a competition as well for first users next week, so keep an eye out on your inboxes for that if you're part of the first shipment. And we're going to be continuing to do updates and launching lots of different bits and bobs and taking into account everything that we're learning from you guys using it now as part of the development going forward. So yes, as Liam says, super exciting time.
Yeah, another thing, we'd love to see, we've been seeing some of the videos that have been coming, we'd love to see what you guys are working on. We were thinking of in the future, possibly, me and Kelly were talking about the idea of doing user highlights, so we could if one of you guys is doing something super interesting, then we could maybe chat to you and do a little highlight. So if anyone out there is doing stuff interesting with Dubler, please do send it over and we'll take a look, and we just want to see what everyone's doing with it. So yeah, let us know. We're
on tenterhooks waiting to see all your stuff.
Yeah, every time someone posts a video, we're there.
Okay, so we've had quite a lot of questions for this AMA already. So we should probably just crack on with them.
Yeah, let's go. Let's start.
So a very simple one, first of all. Is Dubler Studio Kit compatible with FL Studio? And that's from Richard Fortier, I think.
Yeah, so FL Studio, it is compatible. It works basically with any door. Fruit Loops is slightly different from a lot of other doors in that it works with the channel rack. But we've got there is a little page up now with Fruit Loops, but in the... so I was just reading some of the guys in the chat. But so with the channel rack, you can set, so if you use something like the FPC controller, which is I can't remember the name of it, but so basically you can put loads of different drums in it in the FPC controller, and you can use triggers to play all of them at the same time, or in different channel racks you can lock Dubler to certain things, so you can have a synth on one, drums on another, and play those at the same time. We've got a little page up. If you use Fruit Loops and you want to know more, then just send us a line and we can go through it. I'm still new to it. I downloaded it because people were asking. But yes, you can. The Channel X works really well with it. Yeah.
Good point from Mike actually in the chat too. Some of us are still recovering from the holidays, which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So a lot of lots of the kits were due to be delivered in the US on Thanksgiving Day. So yes, you're right. There probably will be a bit of a delay there of people getting it.
It's all right. We're patient.
Thanks for the reminder.
We just want to see it now, but we'll be patient. Take your time.
Okay, so Hot Rock Superjoin, is that your real name? I'm not sure. Asks, when are you going to make this available on the iPad, yo?
So at the moment we're just focusing on the desktop version. We want to get this as good as we possibly can. I mean, some point in the future, who knows? We might start looking at like other platforms and stuff. Right now, just desktop. There are workarounds though. You know, if a lot of iPad apps take MIDI in on things like the keyboard and stuff. Like you can use a MIDI keyboard. So there are workarounds, you know, to get your laptop, say your desktop, sending MIDI into your iPad. There's quite a few pages out there. Maybe I'll make a little forum post about it. But there's ways to connect it via various different USB connections and stuff. So it is possible. But yeah, I mean, in terms of Dubler on iPad, possibly in the future. But let's get the desktop up to as good as it can be first.
Quick question from Wes actually in the chat. So experienced musician, a bit behind on the tech curve. Any advice on unboxing and getting underway with a commonly available tool like GarageBand? And yes, we do actually have some help pages on GarageBand, so we can put a link to those in the chat afterwards, or we can if you just search for them, help.vochlea.co.uk, you'll find pages for GarageBand on there. But if you need any help, you can just email us at help@vochlea.co.uk and we can help walk you through that as well.
Yeah, there is a page specifically on GarageBand, but if you want to go further, you know, like I said, we can do more individual cases. We can recommend some like instruments to put in and how they work and those sorts of things. But feel free to drop us a line. So Kenneth also says, having a bit of issue with how it handles vibrato. I'd love to see an ignore vibrato option. Stephen backs up as well with MIDI smoothing. So MIDI things, so pitch to MIDI is like something we're always working on, something improving. We've seen a lot of feedback from you guys, so we're putting those things in. We've also just put together a page on our help site, which is about getting the best out of our pitch to MIDI side, sort of getting a hang of it and seeing how it works for different use cases. So there is a list on there that basically goes through some of our things like the note collector. So if you're having problems with that vibrato, you could sing in your notes using the note collector and it would then restrict it to those. So after, no matter if you waver from those using vibrato, it will stick to the notes that you've given it. You can also, things like key lock as well. Should we give some examples of this while we're talking about it? Should we? Let's go over to Ableton. Let me just put in an instrument like... Oh, wait for my slow laptop to go. Let's go for... I always like using a harp. I think that's a really nice sound. So, yeah. Let me just set this up. Dubler, channel 1. Yeah, so let me just put this. So if I have it on chromatic, you know, I can sing melodies. My voice is a bit rubbish, so it will pick up lots of sharp and flats as I go, like dun, 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 dun. Not too bad, but there's a few ones in there. So in this, basically in that help page, we go through a few of the things. One of the first things that we always like to suggest to people is basically the key lock. So like if I set this to like a C minor scale, as you see on there, it's grayed out those notes, and now no matter what I'm playing, it sticks to it, and it keeps me just sounding a lot more melodic as I go like dun 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 dun. And you just hear there, it just sounds a bit melodic and in key. But we realise, you know, that's not always the case. Sometimes you don't know that the key you're working on. Sometimes you have an idea for melody. So what we've put in is this note collector feature. So basically, if you see this here, if I hover over it, it says vocal note selection. Once I press that, it will start recording, and then I basically, as long as I hold a pitch for a couple of seconds, it will add that to the pitch wheel. If I add a few of them, and then it will keep me. So I'll just give you an example. I mean, you can add as many notes as you like, but say I've just added those three. Now if I play that, it just keeps me dun, 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 dun. Bit of a weird scale there. But there's also the suggested scale feature down here as well. So like if I add some more dun, 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 dun. And you see it's also come up here a suggested scale D minor. So although that melody's just come out of my head, admittedly not a very good one, But it says, you know, a suggested scale D minor. If I select that, it can add some other notes to help me sort of like expand that idea. And so, yeah, it's just things like that can help smooth out that experience. There's also other things, I'm sure a lot of you guys who have looked into this already know, but there's things like the stickiness and the sensitivity. So adjusting those to find what works for you. So for me, you see I've got my stickiness quite high and my sensitivity quite low. That's because I often sing with sort of a low kind of like boom, 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 boom. So I like to work with those kind of settings. But for other people, if you're a bit more confident with your voice, you might want to have the stickiness a bit lower to allow for more intricate melodies and things. There's all these different bits and bobs. There's some more that go in depth. But if you check out our tips for pitch page on our help site, that's something that we go into a lot more. Sorry if you've been talking in the chat while I've been doing that. We're just looking at the... So Ken says, I'm classically trained and we tend to have a vibrato that swing close to a half step in each direction. And if you're working chromatic music, forget it. Yeah, we totally get that. So yes, I recommend basically using something like that key lock to get rid of those things. Or if what you can even do is manually, if you select the key on the in-app keyboard, if you just press it, then it will grey out that note. So if you hear a semitone that keeps getting hit. But we also, like you said, we've totally also taken on board what you said about things like MIDI smoothing. That is something we're working on. These things we're talking about are something, you know, that help the experience in between, but we're going to keep improving it and take on those ideas. But
yeah, for sure. You know, just to sort of collaborate on Liam's point, we everything you're telling us about how you're using the tech right now is going to be going into improvements, and you know, we really take notice. So yeah, don't feel like it's falling flat at all. We're definitely making notes on everything and trying to make it the best experience for you guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a feature suggestion and things like that on our forum. So if you have any like ideas, you know, feel free to put it in there. Maybe you can come with kind of legato for that kind of instrument. Yes, so things like legato options and different things like that for sure could work. We could put in different like staccato, legato. Again, we're happy, like all these discussions, feel free to jump on our forum for the features request, and we can chat about them. And please bring in an opera singer. Yes, well, any London opera singers, hit us up. Let's. But if we can get in someone with those things, those in more like pitch accurate singers and stuff. For sure, we want to talk with those guys and work with you and find out how it works with your style.
For sure. We definitely, any ideas, anyone that you think would be great testers, whether that's you or someone you know, definitely let us know, 100%. Got lots of people chatting in the chat, but lots of people did send in questions before, so I'm going to just move back to some of the questions we had previously. Okay, so let's go with Ron Turner. What is the simplest step-by-step way to use my voice to trigger horn sounds? I use Cakewalk. I'm a drummer, so in my home studio, I play and track the drums, guitar, and bass. I use an M Audio MIDI controller, but I'm not a great piano player, so it's cumbersome. He says his kit's scheduled to be delivered last week, so hopefully he's still got it. Hopefully you've got it, Ron.
Well, I personally haven't used it with Cakewalk. I know George in the office has used it with Cakewalk. So it's quite, in terms of like triggering just like horn sounds, if you have a horn sound that you've bought or got as a plugin and it's in Cakewalk, basically the setup is the same. You said you use that M Audio MIDI controller. The setup's exactly the same as that, you know, selecting Dubler as the MIDI input, you know, making sure the track is armed and receiving from its own channels, and then basically if you have that horn sound set up, then you're good to go. If you are, I mean, you've got it last week, we haven't heard anything, but if you're using Cakewalk and there's nothing particular on our website, but you want to know more setup, again, always just chat to us. You can send us an email on help, or we'll get a page up whenever we can, because we have it on our laptops here. I think we just need to basically get that sorted. Kenneth, who, we've been talking about the singers, says, I'll reach out to some fellow singers on your side of the pond. Thanks very much. Yeah, it would be great to hear from some people. I mean, there's a question here which ties in with another question we've got, so maybe we can do that.
Yeah.
So, Geert, is that how you, sorry?
Gert,
Declaric Studios.
We're not sure.
Apologies.
Let us know. Maybe spell it out phonetically for us.
But another nice feature would be to include more scales. Yeah, for sure. So the things like the scales and the chords. Well, we had another question here as well.
So yeah, from Stuart. Hi, could you make the chords option more flexible? Something like Reaper's chorderizer. Your input note, your voice is the chord's root, and then you can add notes by semitones, +2, +3, +4, etc., whatever you want. That way, we can create templates for existing types of chords, something richer than the 3-note chords feature so far.
Yeah, so those two things like scales and the chords. So, I mean, a lot of you guys will know if you're following us as we're just coming up, things like the chords were something that we managed to get in just before release, so for you guys to use and play with. But we've been, obviously our development's been really focused on just getting it functioning as well as it can be with those other bits. So these are, well, not extras, but these other bits that we can go more depth in, like scale and chords, for sure are on our list. We've got them. For now, there are other, so Stuart mentioned that like Reaper's chorderizer. There are other things in basically most DAWs that you can do, basically, you know, you can use an MIDI input and change that into, you know, a more advanced or in-depth chord. But for sure, we want to improve the UI experience. We want to make that better in-app. So yeah, we'll work with that in the future and get some more in-depth chords and some more scales. We're gonna go down the deep rabbit hole of music theory and dig it all up and see what happens. But yeah, for sure, we'll work on it. Yeah, exactly. So you just mentioned there, you can also use chords in Ableton and sing the root and expand that way. So I mean, yeah, for now that adds. You can add all those things you want. You can go really in depth there, but yeah, for now that's something we'll do in the future. But there's different workarounds in DAWs. Maybe I think we might do that in some like advanced use case video or something in the future. We could do like using, you know, having a MIDI input and then MIDI effects and what you can manipulate and use for those.
Okay, so just a quick one here from DJ Lex in the chat. Hi, you can all read this, but I'll read it anyway. DJ Lex from Zion, Utah. Always looking to incorporate new ideas into my DJ performance. Have you heard ideas from other DJs on this?
I don't think we've really had much from DJs, but there are DJs we know who have got it. We haven't heard anything. I mean, there's always. I'm not a DJ myself, so it's hard to say, but I see recently a lot of things, you know, where you get like DJ mixing desks. I think Roland did one recently, you know, it comes out with like a 909 or 808 sounds embedded, so when you're DJing you can play in notes. So there's for sure could be some interesting things if you had, say, a drum machine, or even if you had your laptop and you had them quantized and set up with your DJ mixing desk, you could, whilst you're playing other tracks and mixing, you could beatbox some ideas on top of it or sing some melodies. So there's definitely some interesting things in there, especially like I said with these other companies coming out with these incorporated kits that are mixing music and DJing more and more. Yeah, Dubler is a really good path or bridge for those two things. But if you have any ideas, please post them. I know none of us are particularly, well, none of us are DJs, I don't think, in here, are we? David's a DJ. Wow. Yeah. So Dave and DJ. We'll get Dave and DJing with Dubler. Yeah. And we'll get some mixes going, and then
I mean,
well, David, I presume you DJ drum and bass, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so David does drum and bass. So we'll see how quick some 180 BPM Dubler use, but
yeah, I mean, as Liam says, the most natural, you know, thing to do is to add some kind of live element into your sets using Dubler. But, you know, at the end of the day, Dubler controls MIDI, so I'm really excited to see the first person that's like controlling like lighting or, you know, something a bit different as well potentially within their live DJ sets. I think that could be pretty exciting, but we're yet to see it, but we're only really a few, like 1 or 2 weeks in. So.
We did have someone on the forum who said they're a light designer as well as working in sound, and they said they were using it to trigger lights and stuff. I haven't seen any videos yet, but yeah, that's another interesting thing, for sure.
Yeah, but let us know, DJ Lex, and then film it so we can see, please. Okay, so next question from the questions that were sent in. Troy Spoon. If I program my voice to Dubler, will I be able to use the same configuration for all instances?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm not sure. I'm sorry if I don't interpret that properly. So if I program my voice to Dubler, can I use the same configuration? I mean, yeah, the pitch side doesn't actually require any sort of like, you know, programming your voice, if you like, or training your voice. So the pitch side will work exactly the same in any configuration that you have set up. And the trigger side, it learns those voice, but then Dubler allows you to save like profiles. So you can have different profiles set up for different configurations. So if you've got, if you spend a lot of time getting Dubler really honed in on like your voice of one particular sound of drum sounds, then you can save that profile and then come back to it whenever you want and use it for whatever you want. But if you've got something slightly different, like more of a finger drumming thing on a table or something, you can have that set up differently. And so once you've done it, you don't have to redo it. You can basically save as many profiles as fits your needs, basically. Hope that answers the question, Troy.
Okay, so.
Deef.
Oh yes, sorry, I went a bit too far down the page. Deef. Okay, I like the software, but the mic though is not rock and roll. I play in a rock band and I move a lot. Will there be a wireless solution in the future or a rugged cabled connection? If so, I'd buy immediately. So, I mean...
Well, it's not... we didn't do it with rock and roll in mind. So, it isn't designed for that at the moment. There's no plans currently. I guess if we have enough people saying, like, we want a rugged live version, then,
I've got something I want to test.
Yeah?
Sorry, I'm tapping from the back. There is
you can see him just about.
There are some USB to USB over radio wireless.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the impact is going to be on latency, so before we start recommending that, we'll test it in-house. But if that works, it could be interesting.
I reckon a really long USB cable and duct tape.
Yeah, I was about to suggest the same. A bit of duct tape. That's pretty rock and roll, but
Definitely the more reliable.
To George's point, we've actually had a couple of people ask about using Dubler wirelessly, and particularly from like people that are doing live performances, like dancers or people in that kind of space. And I'd love to see it used like that. So, we will definitely try stuff like this out in the future. If there's demand for it, we'll try and make it work for sure. But yeah, for now, it's not our key focus. But all of these things, as I said previously, we listen to everything you say and we'll try and make as much of it work as we can.
We had Paul in the chat says, may I suggest an option for like duplicate profile? That might be useful. Yeah, that's a really good idea. Well, we've got a list where we've been, with all these things you guys have been saying, we've got a sheet that we've been putting on those ideas. Yeah, we'll put that in for sure. Yeah, something like duplicate profile, and then you could like edit something that was the same if you just wanted to tweak but wanted to keep the original. Yeah, it's a good idea.
Yeah, that is a good idea. Okay, so have we got any more questions in the chat? I don't think so. Okay, so we've done this, done this, done this. Okay, so leave you. Can you propose a video with the use of Dubler in mono on basic instruments like bass, guitar, saxophone, or other mono commonly used instruments?
Yeah, there's a few, especially in these AMAs, there's a few bits and bobs throughout where we're using some instruments like that. But should we go back to Ableton and let's mess around with some instruments, I guess, if you want to hear some stuff. I had a play earlier with, what was on here? This like bass guitar that was pretty fun to use. So this is just like a bass sort of, as in like, as you'd expect, just on like a sort of standard guitar. That's like, here we go. Boom, 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 boom. And that a bit lower maybe. Boom, boom, boom. So yeah, for bass, for this kind of plugin, it's kind of fun that you can do kind of quick runs. It might not sound great because I guess it's trying to simulate as if you're like plucking. I don't know how it's doing that in terms of how hard or fast, but like doom doom bum ba dum bum bum ba dum ba dum bum 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 ba dum bum bum bum. And it's quite fun bass line. You can like get some like pretty fast kind of jazzy lines.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. So yeah, that's useful for things like bass. You notice there, I feel like you sing different ways with what you're working with. So like I'm working with the bass there, so I'm just kind of like doing. So it's hard to. Things like that you can go quicker, but the pitch is slightly different, so you might hear an odd note. But if you do more, just kind of dum dum boom 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 boom. Well, it seems as if I palm muted that. But yeah, so you can go quicker and get pretty jazzy with it. What other instruments should we try? We've got
What? Okay, sax. Have you got
sax. Let's try find a sax. What have we got in here? Brass. No sax here, but we can go with a tuba. It's quite an emotional tuba, but
Yeah, it
it's.
is.
I kind of want like a low tuba sound. Let's put the octave down. Yeah, tuba, pretty fun. What else? What else have we got? Let's go for. Should we go for some more stringy stuff? We've done some strings before in here, but
They're always fun.
people were
Let's
talking
go for
about.
a nice harp.
Oh, we did harp before.
Oh.
Let's do like.
Oh.
Someone. I mean, you were talking about because you said the harp's kind of percussive and do strings, but let's do like a viola ensemble maybe. Oh, I might need to go back up on the octaves. I don't know if that sounds too great. Let's go for. I think we actually have session strings on here. Yeah, here we go. This is a bit more full. Yeah, what I like on this plugin is you can do like voice split, and then it will split up between like viola, violins, cellos and stuff, and then you have a full sounding like. Yeah, someone as well mentioned about things like legato and staccato, and you can kind of do that a bit in here with things like velocity. So they have like velocity switches, and if I do like staccato, and if I go above a certain velocity, it will play like staccato, like dun 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 bum bum bum. But then if I go legato, I can play like dun dun dun. Yeah, things like that. But yeah, there's more instruments. I mean, if there's anything really specific, then, give us a message and we can send you a video specifically if there's, something that you want to hear. I'm just working off contact here, so there's plenty of stuff in there. But yeah, I mean, that's a few instruments. Hello from Portugal. Hello, how's
Hi.
it going?
Okay, so I think on our questions, or on our final question,
Yeah.
which is a kind of a simple one, from Scott, do we have a machine to set up?
Yes, so there is a machine to set up page, but there's not a video with it, but there's a page where I go through it. For those of you who don't know what machine is, so machine is Native Instruments. They have a machine. They have one here if we show it. Basically, it's like a beat making kit. You can basically, use the pads, and it has loads of plugins in it and stuff. So we have, but you can also, it runs as its own sort of like software on your computer, and as like a DAW basically. So you can use Dubler with it. You can use it in conjunction with their actual hardware machine, or you can use it on its own. But I thought what we'd do is we can just like go through machine now with you guys, and we can make a little beat on it and see how it goes. Let me just close Ableton. You guys are going to have to watch as I painfully open things, how slow my laptop is. But yeah, we'll open up machine, and I'll show you how it works and how you can set it up. Whilst we're doing this, we probably won't be able to see chat very much. So
It's okay, you can keep an eye, yeah.
But
There was one other question, by the way.
yeah, have we missed something? Yeah.
I'm not sure if you missed it or not, but who was it? Patrick asked about can it respond to a drum roll, as in like a sound?
So yeah, I guess there's a speed of it that's kind of. I mean, you guys are better with the speedier kind of things.
So I'll quickly answer.
Yeah, jump in.
So yeah, this is actually something I would like Dubler to support. It doesn't currently support it. So doing like that would be lots of quick triggers, and that would be really fun and useful for say hi-hats. At the moment, we've tuned the triggers to be able to be quite responsive, and it's been trained with data from my voice, George's voice, and a couple of other people's. But the plan for the not too distant future is to rerun that training scheme or training system, And what we'll do is we'll invite people to send in bits of their beatboxing. We'll label that data and then make it a lot more quick and responsive to stuff like that. So that will happen. Definitely.
Yeah, so I'm sure some of you guys have noticed as well that we have like a data sharing option in our app. And in the future, I mean, like the more people that allow that, you know, have that selected, then the more info and more data that we can get going basically. So also Mike says, is there one MIDI program you think works better with this than any other? I mean, that's a big question. I mean, like you're talking about just like MIDI controllers, so it's like what works well with others. I think basically it's what suits you best. I mean, personally, I use Ableton. I like Ableton because it works well with like electronic music, and so fits my needs for working and that kind of stuff, and works quite easily with MIDI compatible or MIDI hardware and stuff, so things like Dubler. But for someone who might work with like more like live instruments but still wants to use a MIDI controller, something like Logic would work best, perhaps. It's finding what suits you, and then I feel like once you get your workflow, I feel like Dubler's pretty versatile and flexible to whatever your needs. It's really dependent on what each person, you know, same as if like what works best with the keyboards. Like they all work well, it's what works best for you, I think.
Quick question here from Tawny Danny Bell. So he'd like some more clear instructions for using Dubler with Ableton. So, you know, we will be doing more instructions on all DAWs, including Ableton, but if there's something that you need specific help with, or you feel like we've missed out something that you don't understand, please just email us. We'll walk it through with you and make sure that you have a bit more understanding on that. So, yeah, just email us at help@vochlea.co.uk until we get to that next point. But, you know, we will be doing run-through projects eventually and, you know, really starting at the bottom. But for now, you know, we're still working on a lot of that kind of stuff, but please just get in touch with us. We're really happy to help.
But yeah, I mean, let's go back to Machine where we're working. So those of you who haven't seen or know Machine, this is the software that comes with Machine. Basically, it's got loads of kits that you can load in, and then you can sort of play those kits. It's, you know, works traditionally with like the pad. Let me go back actually. I'm not showing you actual Machine. Here we go. So yeah, so it has all these kits loaded up that you can put in, and then it assigns those to different sounds. Traditionally used for like the kind of pads that you play with your fingers, but you can use that with Dubler with triggers. We'll just give you an example of how to set things up, and then let's make a little beat. There's a kit we can. So if we just load this in, so basically you have like things like the master and the group and the sound. So if I go to the group and then the input section of the group and set this to manual, and I can set the source as Dubler, and now with that set on channel 10, each of these different sounds I'll be able to play with the different triggers that I've got. Let me just check I've got this set up properly. Yeah, so now you're here with these different sounds. I've got like, and so, but you can go more in depth as well, because you can pick each of these sounds and select the input for each of those. So I can have the whole kit being played with the trigger side, but then I can have one of these individual synth sounds, for example, being taken from the pitch side. But we can give some examples, I guess, if we make a beat, if we go along. So let's give it a go. Excuse me for being a slow and bad beatboxer, but we'll layer things up, which is how I work with Dubler, and we'll see what we can get out of it. Oh. Let's start again, that was rubbish. Maybe I've not got this set up properly. Give me a second. Let's go on that. This is an old profile, so I think that's the... There we go, that's a bit better. pretty hectic. Let's get rid of some of those. Not sure if I'm grooving on this. I might
Where's the slow bells? Get them in.
It's too early, George.
Right, one more go, and then if not, let's layer things up one by one. I think my profile, let me redo this one as well, because I did that trigger and it worked better. I think this is just old. Alright, that's a bit more responsive. Alright, that's... let's quantize that with 50. This is a bit rubbish. George, give me a beat. Give me a beat. This isn't doing anything for me.
Have you got one of my profiles on there?
Nah, just do one quickly. Let's do one quickly. That was embarrassing. That was
Is
terrible.
anyone still watching?
I'll do the synth bits. I'll do the synth bits.
Alright,
That's where I come into my own.
Oh, I'll wait. Play those.
Let me turn this down.
That's good. Another one.
You want another one, or are you good with those?
Let's try those. Alright.
It's just 4 bars, so it'll loop round.
Oh, it's only 4 bars. I've just done exactly what I didn't listen to what you said and just.
Do you want it longer? Should we do it longer?
No, that's good. They're really like low velocity, aren't they?
Yeah, we can hire them.
There you go. So that's the best I got.
We'll go with that. We'll go with that. That's good. So like now you've got like a beat running. Let's quantize those a little bit as well. I don't even want to bear to look at the YouTube chat for that embarrassment. Alright. Right, let's go. I'll put in some synthy bits. So basically once you have like a beat running, you can, like I said, you can set individual sounds to receive MIDI. So if I go to the sound input here and go to like, go to the MIDI and then source, doubler, and then on channel 1. So now I can play things with the pitch side. Now because the whole thing is running off the triggers, I'm just going to turn off the trigger side so that the rest of the kit doesn't play whilst I'm doing that. And then let me put in, let's do it on like pentatonic. Alright, it's quite fun working with vocals. Let's put that in. Okay, alright, let's see where it goes. Let's see where it goes. Let's get rid of this one. I reckon we can have some more. And then let me just turn off the MIDI for that. So I can carry on playing those things if I want with another stuff, but if I put in a lick on here, put that in. Alright, let's try that. Alright, bit of bass maybe. If we turn this off. Can't really hear that, it sounds a bit rubbish. Let's replace that one. Let's find a... Oh, come on computer. Sounds. Bass. Stick in this one. So that's double. Kind of don't really have many bars to create a proper bass line, but I guess we can just put in a quick bass note there, like boom, boom. Let's do that one again. Boom. And then, I mean, like, I guess if we had more bars, we could do some more interesting stuff with like different melodies and things, but you can like improvise over those things. Let me change this up. I mean, that doesn't sound too bad. We got there in the end after we got George to put a beat down. But yeah, what have we got? Any suggestions on it? I know my laptop battery's fine. It'll be alright. Risk of the team quitting to work on an album alone.
Rude.
Wow. I'd to qualify by saying I did put that in after only my contribution.
Yeah, well, there's been some good tips in there, thanks guys. You know what, I did this, I was like, I'll open up Machine just to get this working. Made a little beat and was happy with it, and then here I am, stumbling over myself. It is what it is. But there we go, I'm happy with that, I think that's okay.
We should release it on Vochlea Music Records.
Yeah, if anyone wants to do some, anyone's got an MC who wants to rap over it, send them our way. And we'll release it on SoundCloud. But yeah, so that's Machine basically, how it can work with Machine. There is a page up, but yeah, so you can check that out, and I'm sure you guys can make some better stuff on Machine than I've just done now. But 2 bars, exactly. Can you imagine if we had 2 bars then? We could have changed the world with 2 bars. 1 bar wasn't quite enough. Yeah, it was getting there. If we spent more time, you know what? I do want to do that at some point in the future, where we sit and we can just chat with you guys and make a beat with Dubler, get some different sounds and stuff, and you can give suggestions, and we can see where it goes. That's a bit of a fun thing we can do at some point. Was hoping you'd all start rapping. I don't think any of us are brave enough to rap.
Not brave.
We're all far too British.
I know. That'll be our homework, write some bars for that.
Use Arcade. What's Arcade, Mac?
Plugin, I think.
It's a plugin. Is it on here if I type in Arcade in the sounds?
It's by Output.
It's the Output plugin.
Oh,
It's
I don't
like,
have that.
Yeah, it's like, I think, is it called like Poolside or something?
I mean, what kind of like a synth highline. So let's put a highlight in and then we'll finish this. Synth, I mean, what kind of... I mean, synth's pretty... Let's put in like lead. Let's try that. Let's put that in. We'll put it in over this one. Let's see what it sounds like. if this doesn't work, then we're going to abandon it. We'll get rid of that quickly. I don't want to record the end, we can just improvise over top. I don't know about that. We'll spend some time. Retro machines. Get arcade up. We'll look into it. Maybe we can, like I said, at some point we should do a stream where we can all make a track and we can put in suggestions. We'll work with some plugins and see what happens. But yeah, all right, guys. Thanks for watching. Let me go back to what you're just seeing us watch the YouTube stream there. So thanks for watching. I hope we answered all your questions. As always, please send us your stuff, send us your questions, send us your requests, whatever you've got. We want to hear from you. So send it on the forums, on our Facebook, on our Instagram, on our emails, whatever it is. Send it through, and we're happy to chat and see what we can do.
And a competition announcement coming soon, right?
Yes.
Yeah, for everyone that's got it, we're going to be. But keep an eye on your inbox for that.
Yeah, Kelly mentioned this earlier. Competition. Some big prizes.
Some big exclusive prizes.
But like I said, we also mentioned as well about that user highlight thing. I'm really interested in the idea, and so I just want to hear what you guys make. I know you said you guys have been on holiday in America particularly, so we will be patient. But if you've got any stuff, even if you don't think it's great, we just want to hear it. We want to know, because that's what we do it for, really, to hear all this stuff. So.
For sure. Yeah, we want to see it, so do some stuff now, please. But yeah, thanks guys. We'll be back with another AMA soon, in a couple of weeks probably. A little event in the UK.
Yeah, that would be so good
would love
in the future.
To do that.
Put on like a gig where we could have some artists we've been working with.
Yeah, or even, we were also discussing even just doing like a bit of a meetup for people as well. Just so, people can meet other Dubler users, meet us guys, have a couple of beers or whatever. We'll definitely be working on a lot more of that stuff in 2020. This year's been a lot about just getting the product out there and getting it all finished. But yes, lots of that stuff coming next year. So yeah, just keep in touch with us. Follow us on all the social medias, Instagram, etc. You're on our mailing list, so you'll hear about absolutely everything we're doing. But yeah, thanks for being involved with the community, because it does mean a lot to us, because we'd literally be nothing without you, genuinely. But yeah, that's it, is it? We're all
well, I just need a little more time and I have some material for it. That would be great. I mean, I know we're being pushy.
We're being pushy.
Take your time with it. But yeah, all right, thanks guys for watching. There'll be another live stream, I'm sure, probably on the other side of Christmas. Or in the new year, but yeah.
Oh, quick one as well before we go. Sorry, we'll also be at NAMM in LA in January 2020. So if anyone's going to be at NAMM, myself and George will be there. So please come and say hello. We'll do some more announcements about that. But just in case anyone is planning on going there, come and meet us in real life.
Yeah, I just realised I've been leaning over, talking really close to the mic. So apologies if I've been really up in your ears. But yeah, all right, thanks guys. Speak to you soon.
Bye.